How's it going, everybody? So we're back talking some more of The Mandalorian Season 3 on the channel, Episode 5. We're now officially past the midway point of the season, and so far this season, I have been having a fun time, but I also understand a lot of the criticism so far when it comes to the structure of the story. As each week we've had some fun mini-adventures, last week particularly with Bo-Katan and Din going to save Paz Vizsla's son, but there still definitely is a veil of intrigue on what exactly we're setting up for the rest of the season with Din and Bo-Katan, because we've had a lot of intrigue around Bo-Katan with the mythosaur. So I, like you, went into this hoping we'd get some more concrete answer, while we're also getting a really cool episode directed by Peter Ramsey, who many probably know as one of the co-directors of Into the Spider-Verse. And he definitely didn't disappoint. This episode was fantastic. It might be my favorite episode of the entire season so far. Not just the fact that this episode was awesome, but we're finally seeing that groundwork that was laid out over the course of the season finally start to connect to one another, whether it's Grief Karga and the Pirates, the Dr. Pershing episode, and hinting at some other things along the way too, like potentially Moff Gideon's return. Those damn pirates though, Gorian Shard, that Swamp Thing looking guy and his pirates, we knew when we saw him earlier on in the season that was not going to be the last time that we saw them. So it wasn't a massive shock when they returned to attack Navarro, but I gotta give it up to Captain Tava. I think he kinda is the real MVP of this episode, just due to his perseverance here. First he goes to the New Republic to try and get help from them, they deny him, and you can see how petty they are, and how all of this is just the beginning of the First Order that we see later on in the sequel trilogy. On the bright side, at least conveniently he knew where to go look for Din and the rest of the Mandalorians, because who knew that R5 this entire time was kind of spying on them and keeping track of their location. Not only that, but as we're going on this journey with Captain Tava, going from place to place to try and get help for Grief Karga against the pirates, we get some fun surprises along the way. The biggest one, I think, for fans of Star Wars Rebels is I'm pretty sure that first person he talks to is Zeb from Rebels. And by the way, he looks fantastic in this CGI hybrid version of the character that we see in the show. So I have to imagine we're going to see him again in live action in some shape or form. And also, Moff Gideon apparently did not make it to trial, which once he said that, the gears started turning on how potentially is Moff Gideon going to factor into everything going on in Season 3. And we're going to see that wrapped around at the end of the episode, what they tease with Captain Tava and he finds the shuttle. If you want to talk about getting hyped though, I was as hyped as Din Djarin and the rest of the Mandalorians were when they're trying to give the speech on why they should go help out Grief Karga against these pirates. And I think another one of the MVPs here, surprisingly, is Paz Vizsla, because he actually agrees with Din Djarin for once and co-signs this effort to go help them out, which, you know, maybe we're turning a new leaf with Paz Vizsla. Maybe after all this time, because of the fact that Din saved his son in the last episode, maybe finally we can get along with these two after so many seasons of different fights between this show and the Book of Boba Fett. The entire battle sequence in Episode 5, pure Star Wars hype for me. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was so hyped seeing the Mandalorians descend onto the ground for the ground attack against the pirates. You have Bo-Katan and Din doing the aerial battle against Gorian Shard's men. For some reason, Din even brought Grogu into this battle, which I thought was kind of amusing. Even the armor. Sure, I don't agree necessarily with the armor and our ideals, but when it comes to fighting, I kind of just ignore that part because she is such a badass fighter. Aftermath to this had me a little bit perplexed and intrigued, particularly with the armor and Bo-Katan having their little private conversation, because it took some pretty surprising turns because of the fact Armor wanted Bo-Katan to take her helmet off, but not just that, but the fact that the armor says she doesn't really like the direction that they're going in, and she wants Bo-Katan to be the one to unite everyone so they can retake Mandalore. When you couple that with the fact that the episode ends with Captain Tava finding the shuttle that Moff Gideon was broken out of, and he was broken out by seemingly Mandalorians, I have to wonder, what are we exactly doing with Moff Gideon here? That is the intriguing question, I guess, of this episode, and is Bo-Katan going to be the one that finds Moff Gideon, and we're going to see how that plays out with the rest of the season? I'm very perplexed on what we're going to be doing exactly. What exactly is Moff Gideon cooking here, and what is Bo-Katan's end goal? All I know is that I will be very excited to see Giancarlo Esposito once again as the character, because Moff Gideon is such an amazing villain. But now I've heard my thoughts on Episode 5 of Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Make sure you share your thoughts down below. What did you think of this episode? Did you like the episode? Did you not like the episode? Share your thoughts down below in the comments section, and also if you have any theories where we're going to go after this, share those as well, because part of the funness is having that conversation with you guys in the comments section down below. Thank you guys, as always. Share the reviews. I always do appreciate it. We should like on the video, and also subscribe to the channel so you update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. So next time, I'll see you guys later.